Hello and welcome everyone, Lionheart here, and today I'm back with another Warmachine component overview video. Don't forget to check out the description for the playlist where you can find out more information about the various other components in the build as well as the introduction. So today we're taking a look at the case, which has been sponsored by Aerocool. It's their Aerocool 800 Black Edition case, and it's also had Total War Arena artwork applied to it. So let's take a look at it. So that was a look at the Aerocool 800 Mid-Tower Black Edition case, which is of course now the Warmachine's case. And in fact, this is kind of where the whole project was born, and kind of where I got this idea that I wanted to reach out to various tech companies and contacts that I had to see if they wanted to be part of a Total War themed PC build. And it was all from this, basically, from after the Cologne Total War Arena event back in May 2015. After that, Creative Assembly and ESL and the guys over at Kudoa as well actually got together, and they sort of contacted me and said, would you be interested in, working with us, and we'll provide you with a custom Total War Arena artworked PC case. And I was like, yeah, of course. And kind of from there I started thinking, this would be the perfect opportunity to see if, we could put together a custom PC build that could play Total War games both past, present, and future. So this is kind of what started it all off, and I'm very pleased with the results. This is one of actually the kind of last things that I actually got sent, and so I'd seen some of the artwork and I'd been able to send that off to some of the various other sponsors so they knew kind of what they were getting involved in. But when the final thing came and it came all together, it looked absolutely fantastic. And I should say the Aerocool 800, it's a mid-tower case, it's not a massive case, and it's also not the most expensive case either. It's actually probably more within the budget range at around about £40. But this PC case actually packs a lot of features, which we're going to take a look at now. At the front of the case, we have a power and reset button in one, a hard disk drive indicator, a microphone and headphone jack, two USB 2.0 ports, two USB 3.0 ports, so plenty of expansion and connection options at the front there, and does everything that you need it to. There's also two more drive bays below that you can access as well if you want to install an optical drive or a fan controller. I'm not using either of those in this build as I plan on installing Windows 10 via USB. On the left hand side of the case, the left panel is a large transparent acrylic window. It is slightly tinted as well, but I actually quite like that. I think it gives it quite a nice sleek look to the case. Again, this being a budget case, I wasn't really expecting this, but I actually really like it. I think it's quite nice. And MSI have also provided a Hue Plus lighting kit from NZXT, and I'm excited to use that in combination with this large window to really light up the case and view those components and tweak all those various lighting effects. So that will be shown in the final overview video of the full PC once it's up and running, so stay tuned for that. At the top of the case, we have a specially designed compartment to accommodate water cooling systems, which supports a radiator of up to 240mm in size. I'm using the Corsair H100i V2, and that fits in there rather nicely. You can also install water cooling radiators along the front panel of the case as well if you wish, or you can place two fans in that front panel section at either 12cm or 14cm, as there's adjustable mounts there, or rather two sets of mounting screw holes depending on which size fans you want to use. If you don't want to use a water cooling solution, then you can install two 12cm fans at the top of the case as well, and the case comes with a pre-installed rear exhaust fan, 12cm 1200 RPM at the rear, and a red LED 12cm fan at the bottom of the front panel. There's also raised feet for the case with rubber pads, which again helps with airflow. And if you do go for a full kind of 5 fan setup for this case, then you're really going to look at a pretty reasonable airflow for this build. But even with water cooling in there as well, it's still going to be very reasonable. There's magnetic dust filters at both the top and the bottom, underneath the PSU in fact, which are easy to remove and clean and place back on. So it's kind of a nice touch they've included that. The PSU isn't accessible via the left panel. You actually have to take off the right panel, as there is a full PSU kind of shroud or shielding, which some people may not like. It doesn't have any kind of special design to it. It's just a basic cover, so you can't access the PSU from that left panel. You have to do all that. All that is accessible from removing the right panel, which I've actually found has kind of helped cable management, as I haven't had any cables running into the case unless I specifically use one of the various holes all over the case for cable management. The case itself supports motherboards that are ATX in size, micro ATX, and mini ATX. I'm using an ATX size motherboard, the MSI X99A Gaming 7, and it fits snugly in this case. The case also supports graphics cards up to 390mm in length. I actually can't think of a graphics card that's that long. I guess maybe one of the AMD Radeon Pro cards or something like that, perhaps? Let me know down in the comment section if you know of a card that's that long. Obviously this case is being fitted with my two MSI GTX 980 Ti's in SLI, and they fit very nicely, and there's plenty of room for them. The PSU, as I already mentioned, has its own compartment which is accessible via the right hand panel on the case, and that supports a PSU of up to 213mm in length. I'm using the XFX 1250 watt Black Edition PSU, and that fits in there fine. I guess it helps that it's a modular unit, so it does mean that I only have to plug in the cables that I absolutely need. And again, with all the various holes over the case, it does make cable management quite easy and accessible. There are a lot of options for how you wish to configure your hard drives and SSDs with this build as well, with a panel where you can attach two hard drives in the main section of the case to the right of where you'll place your motherboard. But the section I like the most for hard drive mounting are the kind of two tool-free kind of sliding, or I guess almost like roll cages that you have to the left of the PSU compartment. And there's also a nice little compartment for a dedicated SSD on the back of the case, just above the PSU compartment. But the toolless mounting brackets that you get support hard drives and SSDs, and that's quite a nice touch there as well. I should also briefly mention that if you aren't using a water cooling CPU system, then this case will support aftermarket air coolers of up to 155mm in height. So that pretty much wraps up my overview of the PC case. If you have any questions about it, then feel free to let me know. You can find out more information and even pick one up if you're interested yourself in the description. Don't forget to check out the playlist of all the other components. We are kind of drawing to an end of all the component videos, and the final and kind of full overview video of the PC up and running, the Warmachine, will be alive soon. So don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, comment and rate as well. That video will be out in the next few days. So until the next one, don't forget to check out my affiliates and sponsors, XMG, Green Man Gaming and Overclockers UK. Until then, ciao for now.